Good morning everybody, Happy New Year! Let's have a look at some of these coins, shall we, and we'll work out if there's any possibility of an alt season to take place like I've been expecting around about mid-January. So at the moment we can see some of these alts pumping, but you know, I wouldn't call this in any way at all any kind of telltale sign that there's going to be an alt season. However, there's a few things that we need to look at. So obviously we've got to look at Bitcoin, and clearly we'll need to look at the Bitcoin dominance. So first of all, let's start with Bitcoin. What is going on over here? So again, I'm very bullish still. Everything's bullish on the daily, provided we're above these exponential moving averages. They're all diverging away from each other, so it suggests that the continuation of this bull trend is still likely and is clearly going on. So that's the 1 day. Let's have a look at the 3 day. 3 day basically exactly the same, just completely smashing outside of those Bollinger Bands. Pretty much every candle really is just making higher highs and higher lows. Nothing of any concern over here. Let's just go back to the 1 day on these other indicators. Again, nothing of any concern. No reason to doubt Bitcoin's strength at this point. Still don't think we're looking for any kind of correction at this level. Let's go down to a 4 hourly, and not that that would be of any significance. So 4 hourly suggests that there could be a little bit of sideways movement, but definitely no dump or correction at this level. I'm not saying that there was not going to be one, but at the moment there's nothing to say that there will be at this level. So that is basically Bitcoin out of the way, done and dusted. Now, alt season is going to very much depend on the health of this little boy over here, XRP. So we do look at XRP on this channel, and we have looked at it for quite a while now, since we came out of this this area here, this consolidation. This is where we started to get very interested in it, picking it up around these levels for the big pump, picking it up around these levels for the big pump. Now obviously you know, a lot of us have still held on to some of this, but the vast majority on this channel and on my Telegram channel, you know, have sold on the way up here, because I did expect this to come down to this level here, with or without the problems that it's faced, and clearly it's I'll probably say it's oversold, to be honest with you. The fundamentals of this chart would have said that eventually would have come down to rest on the 200 exponential, which is just at the top of this, which would now be resistance area around 32. But now we're beneath all major moving averages and bumping our head on the 7 simple. Can't even break above that. But the good news is we are above this zone here, which it was the original accumulation zone after the consolidation was over. So in all fairness, I'm not too concerned. I think maybe down in these areas here there's no such thing as a safe buy, but it's realistically an okay place to be picking it up. Now, the problem we got with this token is that, you know, there's suspension and delistings and all this, that and the other. It's only really an American problem. It's not going to be a problem for the rest of us, and technically it's not really a problem for Americans. There's always ways around it, but in all fairness, it has created a giant sell-off, which in my opinion is probably worth picking back up actually at these levels. Now, I'm not saying this one's going to pump more than any others in an alt season, but there's no reason why it wouldn't. I think the sell-off has happened, and there's a lot of people probably scared to buy it, and I don't blame you. But personally, I think I'll be buying back in down at these levels, or even at this level right now. Now, you know, like I say, there is an alt season in January, but the alts kind of need XRP to pick up, because it has such a large impact on the Bitcoin dominance chart over here, that it's kind of required in many ways for XRP to actually make some moves, to make a dent on this chart. When you've got market cap dominance basically of 71% of Bitcoin, and then we need all the top tens to work together, you know, to conspire against Bitcoin to bring this chart down. And if XRP is unable to do that, I think the alt season might be relatively weak, unless of course the money that was previously in XRP flows out and into some of these other alts, which I doubt, because since I've been covering XRP, I've noticed that there is an enormous community out there, which is good for one reason, but also it's kind of bad in another way, because there's people holding on to coins from all over the place. And I've noticed this for a while. I mean, people have been buying all up here, all here, all here, all here, and you know, a lot of them are probably going to be unwilling to sell or diversify. So they're basically stuck in a position, which means that there might not be a great rotation from the market cap, as people are basically stuck in their positions. Never mind. Let's have a look at some of these other tokens that we like. So this one, Algo, is one of the ones that I'm expecting a very, very big move from in 2021. I mean, it looks like a dead chart, but we see charts like this all the time. So for Algorand to eGold recently, to Anchor, they come on, they dump massively, they flatline. But what we have here is a heartbeat, bump, and then a bigger one here. And now what we're looking for over here is essentially a golden cross forming on the daily. We've got the RSI kind of picking up nicely. Money flow index is right in the center. I think this one is getting ready to start to make some big moves. It will turn these little ones over here into molehills. I think they're our first area of significance, and we'll put some blue box targets in here now. Actually, this is the main area to beat. This area here. Breaking above here will cause, in my opinion, giant moves for Algorand. So if we can get to basically anywhere from 75 cent to 86 cent, 87 cent, then we would be targeting areas of $1.60. I'm not saying that that's going to happen in January, but that is relatively likely to happen sooner than you think, I think, with Algorand. Let's have a look at these other indicators. So we've got nice movement here on the RSI. The MACD is turned up. Let's go to a longer time frame, because the chart it's not old, but it's not new either. Again, MACD turning up, which is good. RSI also turning up, and let's have a look at the old itchy cloud. So this is one thing that I notice a lot with these altcoins that I'm looking at. Coming into January, we're gonna find an area of significance, especially with a coin like Algorand. Look at the size of this giant itchy cloud all the way up here. I mean, there's not really any chance that it could pump until we get out of this zone here. This zone is going to take a few more weeks to get out of, and then when we finally do, I think that's when we're going to start to see the big moves. So any time from, I'd say, mid-January, because sometimes these formations break sooner rather than later as people recognize this and try and get involved at lower prices rather than wait for the breakout. Personally, I've been getting involved in this for a little while now because I've anticipated this move weeks, maybe even a month ago. So I've been stacking up on this one. I've also been setting up my bots for trading on this one too. So this one, in my opinion, around mid-January to February, is looking to do something very, very big and special. And at that point, it will have the free reign to probably, maybe even recover all the way up to $3 and beyond. I know that's a very big, bold claim because we're talking a 10x, but this is 2021. This is the year that we've been waiting for. 10x's will, in my opinion, be relatively common with some of these altcoins. Talking of a 10x, I think this is another one that's going to be doing the similar, or if not more. So if we look at the price where we're at right now to the price all the way up here, that essentially is a 10x. Now, the way that this behaved in the past, as it was an IEO, got dumped into, but there was nice bounces along the way, but effectively the money ran out and we basically flatlined. And then March crash, and then from the March crash onwards, which doesn't look like much, but this was significant. March crash saw a 2,600% move. That's pretty nice. Now, you know, buying back here would have been epic, but when you're looking at a chart that looks like this and there's not really any sign of any hope, it would be a gamble to buy it. There was nothing really to suggest that this was going to do anything special. It certainly did. Now look, what we're looking at here again is very much the same as Algo. When we're looking at the chart, we've come out of a giant red Ichimoku cloud. We're out of it already, so in all fairness, we're ready to move. On this weekly, this is the daily chart, by the way. If we go to the weekly chart, we can see that we're about to enter the free reign zone in a few weeks. So again, mid to late January, this one will have the opportunity to move. There are certain areas that we need to take out, such as I'd say 6.5 cents, breaking above the 20 weekly moving average. But let's have a look at these. So not quite ready on the MACD, but it's still looking okay. You call this redistribution to reaccumulation still, so just in that middle zone really, just below the 0 point. RSI is turning up, money flow index is turning up, and that itchy cloud is about to give us the opportunity to move. So again, this one is ready to do some decent moves. I would say that this area up here, 19 cents, 20 cent, shouldn't be too much of an issue, and that's a 3x. That's a 3x. So in a month to 6 weeks, I would be expecting a 3x. Yeah. Ocean, so this isn't a chart that I really trade on the back of its actual chart formation. This is one that I kind of like to accumulate on the potential of its fundamentals. So the chart itself has looked pretty awful since this top. Now what we're doing is we're looking to reaccumulate, which is essentially what we did down at these buy zones. We've had buy zones set down here, and we also had one here which unfortunately just didn't get filled. It came ever so close, but it didn't get filled, unfortunately. So I've been saying this for a little while now, saying that these are the buy zones. Got a lot of heat actually from people on my YouTube saying, what are you talking about? Yeah, this is your blah blah blah. Look, the reason I have buy zones down here isn't because I'm bearish, it's because I'm bullish. If I was bearish, I would be shorting, I wouldn't be buying, alright? So I'm not bearish on this. I was bearish at the time because I wanted my orders filled in order to be bullish for the long term. So just to get that out there to some of those weirdos that somehow think that buying tokens is a bearish thing to do. It's quite the opposite. So most of my orders have now been filled for this, and now it's a matter of just waiting for this one to pump. Now when we're looking at the chart, it doesn't look all that bad. I mean, daily fresh cross beneath the centre of the Bollinger Band. Clearly we need to break above areas of about 78, 38 I would say, in order for us to have a continuation. Essentially we are still in a bearish formation still. It does look like we are turning up to make a difference, but there's not going to be much to look at on the weekly because it's such a small chart, and when you do look at it on the weekly, it's actually pretty it's pretty nondescript. Oversold down here, so there's every chance that we do move up from here. Maybe we could form a weekly cupping handle, but it's a little bit too messy to suggest that that is the case. If we look at the daily, what we could be saying is that this could be also a cupping handle if we were to pump relatively soon, but again it's a bit too messy for that. This to me looks like one giant formation that could basically launch anyway. But again, I'd buy this on the back of its fundamentals, not on the back of the chart. But the chart at the moment doesn't look too bad for a recovery, but there's no signals here to say that this is definitely something to buy. However, you know, I've bought it for the long term. My buy orders were filled. I don't expect it to come down any further than this zone here, and if it did, I wouldn't be upset either, because my last buy order is still down there waiting to get filled, but it might not happen now. And the last thing we're going to look at here is holochain. So holochain, a token that people forget about, and you know, it's underperformed. There's no leverage for this. Usually trades with extremely low volume, but I have very high hopes for it coming into this year. I think essentially what's happened here is a giant accumulation zone and a massively underperforming chart, but I see telltale signs, which is Itchy Cloud coming to an end. We see MACD, RSI turning up. We see Bollinger Band pinching, and we see us above the 20 weekly. So it basically means that there's only one moving average of any significance to break above here, as well as this Ichimoku cloud bringing us into mid to late January. So in my opinion, if there is an alt season to take place, these three, excluding Ocean and XRP, are the ones that I am looking for the biggest moves. Now, am I going to be able to measure where this is going to go? I would be as bold to say that we could be looking to take out the previous candle body close of 0.00225, which is essentially 250%. I would say that because that's how I see this chart going. The good thing about having low volume tokens, you know, with zero leverage attached to it, which means that no shorting, which means that the only selling pressure is that of people selling it. I often find that when you get a token like that on something like Binance, it wouldn't take a great deal for it to do that kind of move. Just needs new money flowing into it, and when you're trading at these levels, which is pretty low most of the time, let's have a look at how much trading volume. So yeah, I mean less than 1 million just today, and it generally trades at less than 1 million. I think I'd be right in saying that it wouldn't take a great deal for it to move up to these levels. It's trading between 2 and 3 and 4 sats, to be honest with you, as well, so it wouldn't take much for those to increase. So if you're looking to sell it, buy and sell with Bitcoin, you know, you'll probably struggle to get your orders filled down at these low levels, but you'll start to see those sats doubling. And when those stats start to double, I mean, it doesn't take much to go from 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7. That is 250% pretty much right there. It's not going to take a great deal of effort for that to happen. And when the sats start to double, and again, it doesn't take much to go from 3 to 6 or 6 to 9, you've pretty much met the target that I'm referring to there. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with you there, a bit of an overview I suppose, and like I say, I'm no financial advisor, it's not financial advice, but it would be nice of you if you wanted to subscribe to this channel, like the video, and join my Telegram. I do have a Telegram chat. I'm not selling anything, it's just lots of people in there talking about crypto, trade setups, bot ideas, you know, the occasional referral code, and it'll be nice to see you there. Anyway, let's look forward to a good 2021. This is the year we've waited for since 2018. It's finally upon us. Let's make the most of it. Take it easy. Thanks for watching.